Local people, important issues. CBS 10 WILM's weekly focus on the Lower Cape Fear region. This is Byline Wilmington with your host, Don Ansell.
Welcome and good morning. Well, for the first time in just about 18 years, a new face is chairing the New Hanover County Commission. Jason Thompson was elected as the new commission chair, which had been rotating among Bobby Greer, Bill Castor, and Ted Davis Jr. since 1992. Chairman Thompson joins us as our guest for his first extended one-on-one interview. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Ansell.
Thank you for coming by
this morning. Thank you for having me.
We just mentioned three commission members who sort of had a lock on the commission chair almost close to 20 years. What changed? How did that change? How did you change that?
Well, there's a lot of change in New Hanover County. We've grown. Our population has grown, and not just from people who grew up here. You know, it's the move-ins and the people from up north, down south, out west. We're a hodgepodge of everything, and so the electorate changed, and as evidenced by my election, you know, it's the first time we had two new commissioners in probably 20 years too. So,
but it's a 5-member board. It's a small board, and the power blocks have usually been generally Castor and Greer, who are sitting still on commission on one side, and then it became you and Commissioner Barfield, and kind of Ted Davis Jr. was sort of an independent wild card. So how was the board convinced, and how did you make it a unanimous vote? What were the politics involved?
Well, obviously there are politics involved with those things. Well, my first meeting, you're going to put me on the hot seat, aren't you? Well, I think given that I had served in elected capacity for nearly 8 years on the city council, and I was bringing that city council experience, even though I've only been 1 year on the commission, it's not like I'm 1 year in the political scene. I understand budgets. I understand how government voodoo math works. So I don't think it was a hard sell. I went to each commissioner and asked for their support. But like anything, you know, when you have 5 people, 3 is the number you need. When you have 7 people, 4 is the number you need.
Did others want that seat?
I believe there were others who wanted it, but it really boils down to who has the most support. And once you get 3 firm bases of support, you know, the issue is almost decided.
Does this signal any meaningful change?
I think so. Yeah. I think there's meaningful change. I think, you know, we have a good foundation, and Commissioners Davis, outstanding chairman. I served as a vice chairman for him under a year, and I learned a lot. Commissioners Greer and Castor have laid a good foundation over that 20-year period, but now it's time to build some new walls and some new buildings, and I think we're moving forward with that, and myself and Vice Chairman Barfield are part of that change, and we're moving forward in a little new direction.
Now, you're one of 5, you're the chair. Other than your vote, what special powers and duties does the chairman have?
Well, there are some things. First of all, I get to really review and set the agenda for our meetings. So if I wanted to have an issue on did Don Ansell do X, Y, Z, I get to put it on the agenda. If I don't want to have it, you're not on the agenda, it can never come before a vote. So that's a pretty powerful thing.
So you get approval yeah, it is, of what comes before commission.
That is correct. And then I also control the meeting and the parliamentary procedure thereof. So if I don't recognize you, you don't speak.
Well,
I don't do that, and nobody does, and we don't really
but that
follow.
Is a power that the chairman has.
That is the power of the chair, or I could call someone out of order. There's all kinds of things. If you really wanted to use the rules, they could be used to
exercise power.
That is correct.
Do you have the power, or what power do you have to appoint members to various boards and commissions? That's a pretty influential
that is,
position.
But at the commission, we make appointments jointly. So we do it as a commission, whereas in the city council level, the mayor actually makes some appointments to boards. We don't do that at the commission. I don't personally appoint any one person. It's all by a vote.
You can nominate, though.
I can nominate.
And then the board votes?
That is true.
Okay. What about the county representation on the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority Board? That's usually a commissioner.
There's 2 commissioners there.
There's 2 commissioners on there. Are those set seats that 2 commissioners will always serve on that board?
That is correct. The way the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority is set up, there are 2 city council members and 2 county commissioners. So there's 4 elected people on the 11-member board.
Okay, and who sits on that board now from the commission?
Since the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority has been in existence, it has been Commissioners Castor and Commissioners Greer.
Do you think that'll change now with your leadership?
Well, I don't know about my leadership. I think it's going to change in that Commissioner Greer has served for 20-something years and has an outstanding record, been a good commissioner, but he has made it official. He's not going to run for re-election. So this is, in effect, his last year. And
So there definitely will be one seat change.
Well, there will, but what I would say is your last year, some of the boards, and some boards are ceremonial and don't do a lot, and some boards are real meat and potatoes and get the work done. And he's on two of those big meat and potatoes, the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority and the hospital. And I would think in January I'm going to approach him and see how he feels about it, but I believe we should put a different commissioner in each of those boards while he's still here to mentor them and walk them through it versus doing it cold turkey a year from now. Those are very complex boards, and we need his ability to tell them what's been going on and get up to speed for a year and not just swap out once he's gone.
What's your take on the way that authority, the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority, is operating? Are you pleased?
Well, at the city council level, I supported it, and I still support having an authority to run water and sewer, to take the bickering and the politics between county and city out of it. No doubt that's a good thing. Could they do things better at the Public Utility Authority? Absolutely. Has Matt Jordan made some decisions that I don't agree with? Absolutely. Has the board made decisions? When I was on that board as a city council member for a year, there were several things that was 9-2 and 10-1 votes, and I was a dissenter a lot. But that's the purpose of having a board. It's not a dictatorship for Jason. It is a board, and we get the majority rules there too.
What about the recent salary increase of their CEO, Matt Jordan?
I don't support that. I would have voted no. I was vocal about it. I don't think in this time of, in this type of service, government service, and that this type of economy, that the leaders should be getting large pay increases. I don't care if it's contractual or not. If it were me personally, I would have said, and I did this at the company I work for, take my bonus you want to give me, management, and distribute it amongst the employees, because they're not getting raises, and they're the ones that feel it more. There's always opportunity for the leaders to get bigger bonuses and more pay in the future, and I think this just sends the wrong message.
And then not too long after that, they announced an increase in their rates, and some people in their mind say,
the two are unrelated, and that's not a fair thing, but I understand the perception.
Money's money, and the only place they get money from is their customers and bonds that they float.
It's an enterprise fund. That is correct. So, but there's a rate plan in place that's going to have, to be prudent, every year there's a little bit of a rate increase just because of the way inflation and the cost of doing business. And the people that get behind that have a rate and then don't increase it, then have a huge increase, I think that's worse for the public than to do a little bit every year. And if it costs me $1 to give you water, then you pay me $1, not 90 cents, and then the next year pay $1.10. I agree with that, and there's a long-term plan.
But if you give your CEO a raise, it may cost you $1.10 for the increase.
I said I wouldn't have supported that.
We're going to come right back, talk more with the chairman of the New Hanover County Commission, Jason Thompson. Talk about city-county relations when we come back. Stay with us.